Yeah, you'll be fine. All right, hold on just a second. All right, say hi to everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Can y'all hear him?
What do you say?
I'm seeing if they all hear you.
Well, let's tell everybody that I've got a head cold.
Nobody
can. Throat sore.
Okay, they can hear
you.
you.
Me on here one of the worst times you could have drugged me on here.
Yeah, well, we're going to drag you back on, too. Yes, they can hear you. Well, everybody said to tell you hello. He's saying that he has a head cold, but I'm telling you, every time I get him on a live when I can, he always has that. Yeah, Kristen said...
You know I'm 69.
Well, Kristen...
You can hear I'm 69.
Yeah, well, Kristen said you can't make her sick. So, all right, Gary, so kind of... Everybody said they're praying for you. So I want you, because I know you've never had anybody that's actually stood behind you. And on my followers, I have 3 people to have 1,500 followers for you. So go ahead and tell them thank you or whatever you want to tell them.
Well, thank you all so much for, thank you all so much for everything that y'all doing. I wish there was more people in this world that realized that even if you're for the death penalty, you should want to know that the person that's on death row actually committed the crime. You know, and it's actually murder. It's actually
Smurder.
When they execute somebody, that's what it says on the death certificate. It says it's homicide. You know, I just wish more people realized that. And I realize some of these people that is on death row, there's some really bad cases. But But there's some really bad cases. But still, yet 2 wrongs don't never make a right. I mean, that's no different than if somebody, say for instance, somebody shot somebody and shot one of your loved ones. Do what?
Go ahead, but you're saying words we're not supposed to say, so I'm trying to overtake them. Why don't you go ahead?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Why don't you go ahead and when you say where you're at, say row, and say smurder and stuff like that, because we're not supposed to say that. Yeah, if you say that, yeah, we're going to have to school him on TikTok language. And Gary, there's somebody else that says he tells me that all the time. We'll have to school you on something. But yeah, but go ahead and tell them. I want everybody to know how close you and Tommy were.
I mean, we had been good friends for years. I mean, he was someone that I'd never. Of course, I'm not a very argumentative person. Anybody that knows me knows that. But we had never, literally, ever had a harsh word between us. I mean, we were just good friends. You know, we hung out together. I guess probably the last year before I got locked up, we just started hanging out a lot more and a lot more. And probably at least 4 days a week. I mean, if I didn't do nothing else, I would go by his house and make sure he was okay, maybe drop him something off to eat, or just sit around and shoot the bull with him a while, you know, and talk with him a while. We'd sit around and drink. Usually, if nothing else, on my way home, I would go by and we'd sit around and drink a few beers and see if he needed anything or whatever, you know. We just a good friend, you know. I mean, someone I would have never put a hand on the hurt. I mean, when I first got to knowing him, I started off kind of feeling sorry for him because he'd had in a car wreck, he'd had his leg amputated below his knee, and just the situation. I mean, he was an alcoholic. I mean, he drunk a lot. He just mostly stayed around the house. And I kind of felt sorry for him till I started to get to know him. And he was just a really funny guy and just had a big heart. I think that's the thing that I like so much about him. He just had a really big heart. And I just turned out to be good friends with him. I don't know how many years. look back, I can remember, I know we've been really good friends probably for at least 6 years, probably 6 or 7, but we'd known each other a lot longer than that. But, I mean, he was more like a brother, and it just, I don't think the other side of the people realizes that I was on their side. I literally went, when his body was found, I literally went to the jailhouse. And Shirley can tell you, because she was with me, I literally went to the jailhouse and asked them, because the word was done around that they were trying to put out. They didn't know if my uncle or me was tied to this in any kind of way. So I didn't know if I should go to the funeral home or not. We literally went to the jailhouse, and I wanted to see if I could get an officer to go up there with me so I could pay my respects to him. And they told him, no, you better stay away from there. And they actually took that and run with it. They actually, the next day, that's what they said in the paper. Well, why wouldn't I go see him? If he was such good friends, why wouldn't I even go to the funeral home and see him? Mm-hmm. They took what I told them and actually used it against me.
Yep.
But
that's why
he was just a dear friend.
Right. And this is when I tell you all, if you feel like you're going to help law enforcement, if you think that you're going to help law enforcement, don't go without a lawyer. Just don't do it, because Gary, they went and they would have never had a timeline if they hadn't took what they had told them that they had done that day. So just don't do it.
Yeah, you shouldn't ever. Come at you like they're suspecting you or something, you're just better off to never talk to them in any form. If you do, you better have a lawyer present, because
that's right.
Because they literally, Charlie can tell you, can read you in a transcript. I literally, the day I got locked up, I kind of had to force my lawyer to stay on him, to go over to the court and file a thing in the courts that nobody was to talk to me without my lawyer being present, because I knew how some of those, and I'm not saying some of the law enforcement up there is good law enforcement. It's not that all law enforcement is bad. I wouldn't say that at all, because there's a lot of good law enforcement. But every jailhouse you will find, if you've ever had any dealings to do with them, you will find that there's what a lot of people call them is hired guns for the police department. And you've got one that's maybe detective, you've got some that's like the TBI agent on my case. 2 days after my lawyer filed a thing in the court that nobody was to question me without my attorney present, they rolled this TBI agent in, and if you look at his history, he said on his eulogy that the thing he was most proud of was all the people that he'd put on death row.
The row
cases on the row was what he was most proud of. And all of these cases, if you go back, they found where they caught him lying over and over and over. 2 days out of my lawyer filed this, and this should have been something that should never been admissible in court. He says that I told him that I was with my uncle from Friday to Monday and never left his side, and it was nothing but a straight out lie. I never even talked to him to begin with. But he just made all this up. But there's hitmen that they call them in the police department. It's not they're all bad. There's some really good law enforcement that get in there for the right reasons and they're trying to do the right thing. But you just got a lot of them. What it is, when you've got cases that they have no evidence on and stuff, this is ones that they pull out. They do it on forensic stuff. They've got a line of doctors that they use for hitman. It's like the doctor on down on mine that changed the time of death. I mean, he was a hitman for the department, Charles Holland. I mean, he had a whole line of people behind him that he left the victims that he left behind him, where he lied, changed the times of death, the cause of death,
unaliving.
whatever they wanted him to say, that's what he said. That's what he said, whatever they wanted him to. You know, I don't think most people realize is this. If you've never had dealings to do with the police department, you don't realize this stuff goes on, because most people I think they have the thought that if, you know, when you get arrested, why would these, for instance, like this detective on my case that told all of these lies, I mean, was caught in lies. I mean, he was caught forging and fabricating statement after statement, and admitted to them. You know, it actually said and sniggered and laughed about it on the witness stand. And this people, a lot of people look at it, so why would he do this? I mean, if he's just a detective, he gets paid to be a detective. And when they tell him, we need you to do this, this, and this, that's what he goes and does. It's not that he had anything personally against me. That's what they told him to do, and they sat back and whatever they tell him to do, that's what he does. And he goes out and I mean, he planted shell casings in my case. We got pictures to show that. He forged, I don't know what the statements, I mean, it was so many of them, it's hard to keep count of all of them. And he could have never even got me arrested if he went in front of a grand jury. I've always said my case should have to go back to jump. He got up on the witness stand, admitted that he went in front of a grand jury, and he told his grand jury that he had 3 eyewitnesses that could put me and my uncle, which is my co-defendant, on the scene of this murder, which was all just a lie. He admitted on the witness stand that was all just a lie. He done that just so he could get me arrested. And once he told that lie to get me arrested, he went straight on to another trial court judge. He told the same lie to get a search warrant to search my uncle's house. And as soon as he searched my uncle's house, they ruled that the search warrant was illegal and invalid because he admitted that he lied. They didn't rule the arrest warrant to be illegal and invalid, though, but they did the search warrant, but they still let him keep the evidence.
They absolutely did.
And
yeah. Hold on just a second. Wait just a second. Does anybody have a question they want to ask Gary? All right, go ahead, Gary. Sorry.
But as soon as he searched my co-defendant, which is my uncle, as soon as they searched his house, they got a big bag of shells. He had a place out back. He traded a lot of guns and stuff.
Pew pews.
He had a place. What?
Pew pew. It was a pew pew.
I still didn't understand what.
Pew pew.
A pew pew.
Yeah.
Pew pew. We had a pew pew out back then, and they got a big bag of shell casings. Then I remember this detective said a few days later. He just said, I think he said in court, he just had this feeling, something kept pulling him a couple of days later to go back out and search the site where Tommy's body was found at. So he goes back out 2 days later, and I know what he done, and I imagine, well, I don't know, but I'm guessing what he done, the big bag of casings that he got at my uncle's house. He actually probably took 2 of those and put 2 of them over there and I imagine some of the others he got too, but he took 2 of them over and put where the bodies at. He laid them side by side.
Yep.
But they've got pictures. They've got pictures that shows that the shell casings was not there when Tommy's body was in the scene. They had the ambulance. They had officers, the ambulance. They had it taped off, and you can plainly see there's no shell casings there. But 2 days later, when he goes back out, when he says he has this feeling that he needs to go back out and search again, the same exact spot, abracadabra, there's 2 shell casings. Neon green shell casings laying there. And not only are they laying there, they're laying side by side. And anybody that knows that shoots a firearm, you could shoot this firearm probably 100 million times, and 2 of those shell cases would never fall side by side like it. Anybody knows that knows anything about one. But it goes on and on. You know, it was lie to lie. They could have never. They could have never. They could have never even had a case against me, or could have never even took me to court if they hadn't set me down beside of somebody else. How do you find someone guilty of murdering.
Smurder of smurder.
Smothering they're actually their best friend. I mean, somebody that you've never had a harsh word with. This is. I remember when I first got locked up. I thought, well, they're going to figure this out. I'm sitting there in my head. It's just like I feel like it's on the spindle. I'm thinking, how did this ever get to this point here? And I'm thinking that they're going to figure this out. They're going to come in any day and say, well, we made a mistake and we dropped the charges on you, and we don't think you had anything to do with this. But no, that never happened. It just the lies kept piling up, and when you don't have an attorney to represent you, and that's something else I don't think people realize is they took me to court with two lawyers that begged the judge to take them off my case. They both said, we don't have a clue of how to represent this man. And the one said, I couldn't even believe it. Neither one of them had ever had anything to do with the capital case. And one of them stepped up and told the judge, he said, Your Honor, the only criminal case I have ever had, he said, is a phone harassment case. He said, the cases I've had has been that bankruptcy and stuff like that. He said, I don't even know how to pick a jury. But this judge says, you're not going to get off his case. You are going to try his case. And that's the kind of lawyers that they gave me. What if they were bad men? I think both of them were good men. They didn't know how to represent me. And they were so bad, they kept on going on about not knowing even how to pick a jury till they gave me a jury picker. Now get this, people I don't think's ever heard of this happen, and I've never heard of it. And I watch a lot of cases. But they gave me a jury picker, a professional jury picker, because my lawyers didn't even know how to pick a jury. That's how incompetent they was on a murder case.
Smurder, TikTok shop.
Do what?
Smurder.
But okay, but anyway, we picked a jury. She picked a jury, this professional jury picker did, and most people have never heard of this. I've never heard of it before, never ever seen it in the case before. This jury picker done such a good job at picking a jury that I remember my lawyer said, he said, Gary, you ain't got nothing to worry about because there's not one thread of evidence that you've committed any kind of crime. This jury is going to turn you loose. And he said, they're going to see right through what they're doing. Then I look over and the district attorney's mad. I mean, he's throwing a little hissy fit kind of over there. Actually, I remember asking my lawyer, I said, what's wrong with him? He said, he is madder than hell that this jury pickers picked. So I think we had like we had the jury picked. We had like 2 islanders picked, and they wanted to take a break. So this 15-minute break turned into all day. When we come back later that evening, the judge, when we go in, the judge said, I'm wondering, why did they this 15-minute break take all day? And when I do get back, the judge tells me that they're sending a jury home that we just picked. We're going to come back later on and pick another jury. Now, all because the state didn't like this jury, they knew we had a good jury. So they sent this jury home just because the state didn't like the jury. They wanted a redo. And when I come back to court, they took the jury picker, wouldn't let me have a jury picker, and even the judge helped pick the jury on the second one. And get this, I ended up on my jury. I ended up with a guy this detective that told all these lies and forged all this stuff. I ended up with his best friend that he went to
the academy
school with.
Yeah.
Junior Moran
was best friends with him, served over in the police department. We knew none of this. My lawyers found none of this. The only thing we knew that he was a retired officer was all we knew. We knew none of this. His next door neighbor ended up on my case. Think about this. This detective's next door neighbor ended up on my case. His best friend ended up on my case. A woman that lived right beside of the murder scene ended up on my case.
Smurder, TikTok shop.
They handpicked a jury to set in on this next trial. They handpicked a jury, and there's just no way. How do you not find somebody guilty when you handpick a jury like that? most people's never heard of them doing that before. Sending a jury home, maybe you done got the jury picked, all because the district attorney don't like this jury. And when I got back to, they changed every one of my pre-trial motions about me being present. I remember my lawyer telling me when I got back, said that, well, he said, I've got some bad news for you. That's what I said. He said, they've changed every one of your pre-trial motions. So they've ruled against you on all of them. He said, they've took your jury picker. And he said, they're letting all of the Sevier County case in. And they did what they done. They just stacked the whole case to where there's just no way that they wouldn't find you guilty. They let everything that the state wanted to say and do, they just let it right on in. There was never no evidence. At one point, I remember when my lawyer argued the facts of trying to separate the trials because there was never nothing against me that I've done anything to anybody.
Right.
And when in the middle of the argument, I remember the district attorney actually told the judge, he said, Your Honor, before we start this argument of the separation of these trials, he said, I'd like to say this. And his very words, he said, it would be a pure nightmare, he said, to separate Mr. Sutton from Mr. Dillinger, because if we do, I'll have to drop charges on Mr. Sutton and turn him loose because I don't have no evidence against him. He said, I've got to link him to Mr. Dillinger to get a conviction on him. And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
They linked me to him, and they brought a TBI agent in that the one that I told you earlier about, that 2 days after I'd filed for no one to question me without my lawyer being present, they had got him up the line so that he came over and said, I told him when I was with my uncle from Friday to Monday. And Kernan can tell you that's nothing but a lie. I was just ran him on the Friday. But it's just things like that. I mean, it's hard not to get a conviction when all these lies is being allowed to be told to the jury.
Yep. Gary, I know we talked about this before, but this one, they never, and I don't remember it because I want people to know too, I was with Gary when he got arrested as well. They never read him his Miranda rights.
No, they didn't read me no Miranda rights.
Yeah.
No, they never did read me no Miranda rights. I mean, why would they worry about reading you Miranda rights? Everything else they done.
Exactly.
I mean, they even said it was so bad. I remember they shut the whole courtroom down. I remember at one point my lawyer said, "Well, we got a hearing this week, but we're gonna have to put it off." He said the district attorney has got the courtroom shut down over there. He said he's having a mock trial. And I said, "What do you mean a mock trial?" He said, well, he's taking the people up on his side, and he's putting them on the witness stand, and he's questioning them and stuff. And I said, that's not against the law. I said, I thought you put somebody up on the witness stand for them to tell the truth about what they know. You're not going in there and having a mock trial and putting them up on the witness stand and telling them to say it. It's hard to tell a lie without you rehearse it, and that's basically what they were doing. They were rehearsing these lies that they were going to tell. They even had kids in our line, and it was just shameful when I sat and watched it. I'm thinking, they got these kids, I guess they put them up on the stand and rehearsed them over and over and over. I remember one of the kids, and this was about probably 150 yards in the dark through trees, said that she was washing dishes, and she looked out the window, and this was late at night. There's no lights out there. You're looking about 150 yards through trees, and said she seen my uncle come out. Me and my uncle, we went and made Tommy's bond, and said he had something wrapped up in, I think, a sheet or a blanket or something, and said it looked like a rifle. Now think about it. If you don't think that's a lie, try in your house tonight.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Take and put your bright lights on in your house tonight, and look out through the dark where there's no lights out, and see what you can see 150 yards away through trees. You can't see nothing because the lighting inside is distorted your eyes. I mean, that tells you there You can tell.
Are you going to
that's
call
why I
back?
like that, but
Are you going to call back?
if you want me to, I guess I can.
Do y'all want him to call? Yeah, because I know these. I know a lot of these people. They want to tell you they're behind you, how much they love you. They've loved talking to you, and they said yes, please call back. And I'm gonna get people to ask some questions, and you can answer some of them. So if you all stay, he'll call right back. It won't take long because there's money on the phone. Yes.
All right.
Yes. So,
Thank you for using.
there he goes. So he'll call right back. Is there any questions that y'all? Yeah, he's gonna ask me all about these codes. Yeah, and so he's never got to tell his story like he's got to, and tonight he's never got to tell the story. So I hate to interrupt him when he starts talking because he does. He has got so much to say. And Mama T, when you ask me about the jurors that he's talking about, Heather actually talked to those jurors. We have the affidavit on what those jurors said. Here he is. Oh. Let me see.
Hello, this is a prepaid call from
Gary Sutton.
an inmate at the Tennessee Department of Corrections, River Bend Maximum Security Institution. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, hang up or press 1. To prevent calls from this facility,
It's not letting me press 0.
For a rate quote, press 8. Hello, this is a prepaid call from
Gary Sutton.
an inmate.
All right, guys, it's not letting me go through.
River Bend Maximum Security Institution. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, hang up.
It's not going.
To prevent calls from this facility, press 9. For a rate quote, press 8.
It's going to hang up.
Your call was not a...
He'll have to call back. He'll call right back. Devin's going to have to get the phone and answer it up there. I'll be right back. Devin! He's outside. Bring it here. It wouldn't pick up to 0 for me. Devin! Here, take time, bring it back to me. Devin went outside. There he is. Hello. I'm sorry, guys. We're trying to get the phone. It wouldn't accept it when I did that. No, he's not bitter, and that's the thing with me. When I first talked to him again, I was not around for 26 years. I was with him when we went through the trials and everything, and then later on, I went my own way because I just had to go my way because honestly, I thought he would be home by now. So in the last 4 years, I've been back on this. And so when I first started talking to him the very first time he called so I could talk to him, I didn't know what to expect. I was thinking, it's been so long and all this time, is he going to be the same man? But he was. He's the same man that you're listening to now. He's the same person he always has been. And yes, he's always been kind. He has no hate in his heart. And like you said, I don't know how I would feel if I was in his position. I think I would be bitter. But he did, now that he has hope. That's because we're getting his story out. And yeah, he is a good old country boy. For whatever reason, that phone is not picking up, so they might have blocked him from calling tonight. So if not, then we'll do it again another night. Okay, it's not answering. I don't know if it's where we're at because. Got it. Okay, he's back, so she got it. So she'll get on there and talk to him first before he comes back on. Oh, here he comes. Is he coming? I'm here. It wouldn't pick up.
Yeah, I was getting on the wonder if it was going to let me back through to you. It was about my sixth or seventh call.
Yeah, I was pushing 0 and it wouldn't pick up. So, all right. So now, everybody's telling you that they're behind you. Everybody's saying don't give up. We've got all these people that's picking you up, that's reading your story. They're helping us call the governor. I've got people that's talking to officials, higher officials. Everybody's calling the governor. So I think we got some movement going. Somebody asked me how you felt about that, but I don't think you can wrap your head around it, can you?
It wasn't now. I was trying to. The officer was on my door there asking me if I was okay. He always comes around like this guy does. You're actually okay.
Oh.
Run it by me. Get on the end there.
I don't even know what I said. There's a Michelle who, if you don't care, who was your dad? Gary, you were friends with Michelle from at Gypsy's dad. She said you all were friends, but I don't know who it was.
I don't know sure who you're talking about.
I don't know.
Something else.
Big Jim Fram.
Do what now?
Big Jim. Is it Fram? F-R-A-M? Big Jim. Do you remember?
I can't. I don't recall. You remember, I've been in here so long. When you've been locked up this long as I have, and this.
This is the end.
Oh, he was friends with Reese. Big Jim Fram.
I've heard that name before. Reese, that was my favorite uncle. Reese was. You talking about a good man? He was a good man. That's something else too. I'd like for people to know. I mean, I come from a family, a really good family. You know, it was and something that my grandmother always installed in me. And I got out as a teen. I got out as pretty much most all of the country boys did. We run around the bars and chase girls, and we drank beer and and stuff as most of the country boys did. But one thing about it, I was raised up in a good family, and one thing I was always taught. This is something I remember. This is another thing I remember when I first got locked up in the Sevier County Jail, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, my goodness, let me see if I've got this right. Smothering. When they just sitting there thinking about not only that they had me charged for smothering my best friend, but smothering a woman. This was like someone kicked me in the stomach. I mean, I sit there and I would literally get sick just thinking about even being charged with a crime like that. I mean, my grandmother raised me. I had some of the most beautiful women that raised me. My grandmother, my mama, my aunts. And one thing these women always installed in me was you never raised a hand to a female. And that's something I never done in my lifetime. You can turn that county upside down, and you'll never find anybody tell you that I ever raised a hand to a female. I didn't believe in it. I still don't believe in it. And one thing my grandmother always taught me, son, you can always walk away. Don't ever say that you can never get yourself in a position that you have to raise a hand to a female, and you don't. And this was just something that, and it still yet to the day bothers me. Just the fact of being even charged with a crime like that against a woman is just, I don't know, it's still mind-boggling me to today. But even more so than being charged with your best for murdering your best friend, someone that you've never had a harsh word with. But in a million years, you would never dream that something could be dropped off in your lap like this. I mean, I guarantee you got people out there that says, "Oh, there's no way that you can actually get sin and put on death row." They could have never put me here if they'd have set me down in front of a jury, just me. They had to put. I was just thrown in with my uncle as just, I guess, collateral damage with him. It was like the district attorney said, you know, if we don't set him down and try him with him, we'll have to drop charges on him and turn him loose. They've never had, because you don't get evidence against somebody for committing a crime when they didn't commit it. And if you read my transcript, pretty much through the whole transcript, they don't even mention me that much. They don't never say, well, I've done this or I've done that. And I was just thrown in for collateral damage. But it's I don't know. It's just it's a never-ending nightmare that you keep waking up to every day. You know, and you keep thinking, you know, is it ever going to end? You know, and it's been over 30 years now, and it hadn't ended.
Yeah. So I want you to know we've got She's Country on here. She says to tell you she loves you. We've got Tracy, Diane Ellis on that's been helping me. Mama T, Cheryl Harlan, Back Porch Confessions. They're doing stories on you. Then we've got we've got so many people. We've got Judy on here that's been sharing everything for years now. We've got y'all are going to have to give me your names up. Rhonda, she's on here behind you. Come on, guys. Candyman, and they're on here behind you. Kristen's on here behind you. I've got 51 people in this live right now that everyone are behind you, Gary, but I have almost 1,500 followers, and everybody's behind you, and them listening to you tonight. You have you've showed them that you are the person that I've been telling them you are. So does anybody have it's going to end with happy tears, Mama T, because I know we're going to bring him home. Gary, someone asked me earlier, how do you feel now about us doing these lives and people behind you standing up for you?
Oh, it makes me, it makes you feel blessed to think that there's, sometimes you feel like you're just forgotten, in here. You really do. You think, excuse me, I can't talk hard. Listen, my throat's sore, my head's stopped up. I've got this old flu bug that's going around.
Thank you, Christine, Rhonda. Thank you, Michelle. Thank all y'all.
Forgotten. You feel like you're forgotten most of the time, and what if there's anything that can be got back in court? And the bad thing about it is, you're in a situation where you've got a governor. He's a Republican governor. Of course, I'm a strong,
R and D, Gary. Don't say the word. Say R or say D.
Well, but what the bad thing about getting the governor to do anything is when you put politics in the middle of it. It's almost like if they're looking at a future in politics, they don't want to do nothing. It don't matter what kind of evidence you've got on your case. It's just we can't do anything. If we do anything, it's going to look really bad on us because we've done something, especially on a case like this. From where I'm at, it's just it's a political worst political enemy that you can have, I guess.
Yep.
Probably to help somebody like this.
All right, Gary, these ladies that's been fighting for you, they want to talk to you.
Hello, Gary. My name is Ray. She's Country. It's so good to hear your voice.
I hope you can hear me. My throat's sore, my head's blocked up. I've got a flu bug. I told Caroline she picked the worst time to get me to put me on here. I barely can talk. I talk so country anyway. Everybody calls me country. And I talk so country. I'm thinking I just hope people can understand me with this hoarse voice. And I talk so country anyway. A lot of people makes fun because I talk so country, but I just tell them I'm proud of it, and they can make fun of it if they want to, but I'm proud of being country myself.
Me too. They probably make fun of the way I talk too, but I don't care.
I can tell talking. I can tell listening to your voice. You sound as bad as country as I do. And it feels good to talk to somebody that sounds as country as I do. I'm about as country as a bowl of turnip greens myself.
Oh yeah, and I wouldn't mind having a bowl of turnip greens.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But I was just raised up. I love country life. I love, I think a lot of kids today, they forgot. To me, it's the love of your family and your friends. To me, Curly can tell you. I mean, I've not been a big person on. You can't turn my head a lot with money or shiny objects or stuff like that. I've always been all about family and friends, and I still believe that wholehearted. I can have as much fun. A lot of people will go out. I've often told people you can go out and spend all the money you want to. At high dollar places, spending money. I can go down to the river and drop my feet off in the river in the swimming hole, and sit there and listen to the birds sing and tree frogs holler. And I can have this much fun doing that as any kind of money you could spend doing anything.
You're speaking my language.
That's just the way I like to live. I remember once a person out of, I think they were from Michigan, came in and got to talking, country people didn't do nothing. I said, you just don't know. I said, let me ask you something. I said, let me tell you what I do normally through a week's time. And I said, you can tell me what you do. I said, I got horses. I ride horses. I get out on horseback ride. I get out on the lake to crappie fish. I go down on the river and I catfish. I deer hunt. I squirrel hunt. I rabbit hunt. I get back in the mountains in 4-wheel with the Jeeps and the 4-wheel drive. And I said, let me ask you, what do you do in a week? And he really couldn't tell me other than maybe going down to the coffee shop and a few little things. I said, well, look, there ain't nothing wrong with that, but I said, just don't think that country people don't do nothing. I said, this is a small rural area up here, we're always busy doing something all the time, And, but a lot of people's got the wrong idea about country living and rural areas, and I just love it. If I had me a home right now, so far back in the mountains that you have to pump some sunshine to it, I would be really happy. Like sit on the back porch and watch a few more sunsets and a few more rise of the morning.
Gary, what do you miss the most out here that you have not seen in over 30 years? What do you miss the most?
Well, first would have to be my family, my daughter. I didn't get to raise my daughter, and that's just always kind of just really ripped my heart out of my chest. But really, my family and would be the main thing. That's what I think people don't realize. A man, a grown man, you can put him through all kind of punishment, and God knows I went through everything you can think about. Having to live this long in a 79 concrete tomb, as I always call it. But the love of your family and not being able to get to be with your family, and I miss Tommy. I never did get to know Connie. She never was around. She'd stop by every now and then to ask Tommy was he okay and stuff, and usually go on. But I miss him. I think people forget to realize too, that this is a loved one that I lost, it ain't just his family, you know. I mean, I lost a loved one too, you know, when I lost him, and you know, and his family. I've always told people, you know, don't really, you know, put his family down when they say stuff, when they get on the internet and say stuff. That's because they're a victim. I mean, they're a victim. I'm a victim too, but you know, I lost him. I lost him too. I've told people, you know, don't put them down because they lost two people in their family, and they're a victim, and they're going to always be a victim. And to this day, I miss him, and it breaks my heart every time I think about him being gone, even to the day. I mean, we used to sit and we would rent tubes. We would rent tubes sometime over in Wallen. In the same river that he was found beside of, we would rent tubes over there, and we would float down the river. We would take one tube, and we would tie a cooler in it, and we'd put some beer on the ice, and we'd just float down the river. We'd float down the river, and he was a really comical person. And I mean, I'd lie sometimes that my ribs would be sore the next day. But just shooting a bull with him, I mean, he was just, there was never a dull moment around him. And it just, and that's something I miss too, is reading a tube and just riding down this river. It's one of the most beautiful places, coming down that Pigeon River, floating on a tube on a good warm day. The water's so clear you can see plumb to the bottom of it. It's all spring fed coming out of the mountains.
I did not see them. I'm in the jumbo size. It is memory foam padding in the inside.
What's the first thing you're going to do
guys.
when you come home?
It is memory foam. You
And
can take this cover off and you
choose
can
your
wash
words
it.
wisely.
Well, the first thing will be, you know, just to get to be with my family, to see my family, you know. Of course, I guess you're going to be there to. If I ever make it that far, you're probably going to be there and kidnap me or something, I guess, from the time I come out the door, I guess.
Yeah, y'all ain't gonna see him for a little bit. Somebody asked did you fish, Gary? Tell them about that, because that was one of your passions, the fishing.
No, I loved the fish. It didn't matter what kind of fishing it was. I guess I love crappie. It depends on what day it was. I love crappie fishing probably the most. I mean, I love going out, because I lived right beside of Douglas Lake. I love going over about daylight of a morning and putting my boat in the water and just watching the sun, being out there on the lake and watching the sun come up on the lake, and the fog coming up off the lake, and the water's so cool and crisp early in the morning like it. It's fresh. If you've never done that, you've got to go do it. I mean, it's just been going out on them points and sometimes catching crappie two at a time. And the icing on the cake is getting to bring the crappie home and cleaning them and frying them up and eating them. But and I love catfishing. I love going out on the river and laying a lawn chair out, setting me a lawn chair out, and setting my little radio beside me and listening to the radio, and take me about 3 or 4 poles and baiting them up with different baits and bring home to fry up, and just being out in nature. I love being in nature. I guess it always got me so bad being in here, because I'm a big nature person. Even as a kid, I remember when I was a kid, I had my first pony when I was like about 8-year-old, and I used to go to the river. I'd follow the creek and come through her place. As a kid, I would follow it all the way to the river, turn over every rocks. That's something as a kid. I never did have a lot of toys and play with toys when I was a kid a whole lot, because I was just kind of out in nature, you know. I mean, I'd go down the creek, and I'd get down the creek and turn over every rock there was in the creek and play with crawdads and minnows and that was just what I liked to do. Now, I don't know where I got it from, because nobody in my family fished. Nobody in my family hunted. I mean, I like to deer hunt. It ain't so much about going out and taking the animal. It's about being out. It's about just being out in nature, looking at all I remember when I used to go to Georgia. If you want to really see some wildlife, go to some of the places deer hunting in Georgia that I used to go to. And I mean, you would see, coyotes, you would see foxes, raccoons, possums. And I guess the reason you've seen so much smaller game is because most people just deer hunted. They didn't hunt the small game. So when you crawl up in a deer stand, I mean, it was just swarming all around you. And I remember going out before daylight and just sitting there and watching that, and watching some of these big fox squirrels come up and playing, even in the tree that you was in. If you'd be real still, they'd come up and play in the tree that you was in, and the trees all around you. And it's just something, if you've never done it, to me, you've never really lived. You know, and I just love all animals because I grew up on a farm. I used to make pets out of ducks, chickens, pigs, cows. If they was on the farm, I made a pet out of it. I mean, I used to love take. I think people see pigs maybe in a different way than I do. Pigs are smart, and God, I used to love pigs when they're just little babies. You've never seen a more playful animal than a small pig when they're little. I used to have ducks that would follow me around wherever I went. I used to have chickens that followed me around wherever I went because I made pets out of them. It would break your heart if it was an animal that you'd made a pet out of, like cows. I mean, I used to take cows. I used to have a guy next door to us that had a dairy farm, and I used to help clean his barn out and stuff when he would get through milking his cows. And he would trade me the little bull cows because he didn't need the bull cows. And I would take them and raise them and put them on a bucket. You got buckets, got little nipples on them, and you put powdered milk and put it in water and put it in the buckets, and I would raise them and sell them. But, you know, you wouldn't believe how smart a cow is and what kind of pet you can make out of a cow. I mean, I had cows that I raised from the time they were born on a bucket. And these cows would just be like they would be like they was a part of you. I mean, they'd follow you everywhere you went, and just some friendly animals. It make you think twice about eating a cheeseburger. Once you raised one of them, you know, and to see what kind of friend they was, it'll make you second think. As much as I love an old greasy cheeseburger, it makes you second think it a lot. But that's just the kind of life that I grew up, you know, and I love that kind of life. I love that kind of life. My perfect life would have it about 30 or 40 acres and an old decent house on it, and a few horses, a few cows, about every kind of animals you could think about, some chickens and some ducks, but that's just the kind of life I grew up and the kind of life I love, and life that I got took away from. You know, I look back and I'm thinking, in a million years you wouldn't think something like this could happen to you, but I look back, you know, hindsight's 20/20, and I'm thinking, well, maybe I shouldn't have been around my friend Tommy. Maybe I shouldn't even went nowhere around my uncle. But, you know, I mean, how do you know that you could ever get in a predicament like this over being around, you know, friends and family, you know, and stuff? When you don't see something coming, how do you ever stop it? I mean, you would like to think that you're responsible for your own life and what you do, you know, but how do you stand responsible for stuff that goes on, that's beyond you and beyond your control and your power, you know? But you get drug off in it because you got a police force that's got a crime that they're trying to solve. They don't have no evidence, but they're trying to solve it, and they go to any extent that they want to. Then you got a judge that says certain allows them to do anything that they want to do, and I don't know, it was a perfect storm, I know that.
Sorry, dogs bark, kids are screaming.
I know. Well.
So tell them what your favorite meal is, because you tell me all the time how much you miss it.
Well, I'm easy to cook for. I mean, I like a good old biscuits and gravy is probably my favorite. I love biscuits and gravy, and I love to have some backstrap out of a deer, have it butterflied and fried up with some biscuits and some gravy and some eggs scrambled up. But I'm just a bean and potato and meat kind of person. I could eat pinto beans probably for breakfast. I love them so much. But I love crappie fried up, catfish. I can literally eat. I mean, I can go out. I can actually go. I mean, there was a time in my life where I kept the freezer, kept meat in it. I mean, I rabbit hunt, I'd squirrel hunt, I'd deer hunt. And I mean, I could literally go to the store and salt, sugar, and flour, and cornmeal and stuff like that. I mean, I always had plenty of meat in the freezer. And I mean, I was satisfied with that. I mean, a lot of people may think that's crazy, but you know, the other stuff that I needed, I mean, like hamburger meat stuff, I mean, I could take deer and make hamburger meat, grind it up with beef fat and make hamburger meat and put it in the freezer, and it makes really good hamburger meat. It's good lean meat, but you need a little grease in it, some beef fat, you know, to make good hamburger meat. But I love deer meat too. A lot of people says, "Well, I don't like the way deer meat tastes." You just ain't never eating where somebody's prepared it right, you know. But my grandson, he just got his first deer, and God, I think, wow, I'd give anything if I could go teach him how to hunt, and it worries me about the safety. I don't know where he have somebody to teach him the safety of not to ever pull a gun towards somebody, and how to be real safe about it. What's that?
Pew pew.
Pew pew.
Yeah, I'll explain later.
Well, but I miss that, and I wouldn't and I don't know where he gets his from. I mean, there's nobody, I don't think, on his dad's side of the family, or anybody, I don't think, it's taught him how to hunt. His dad don't want to hunt, but he seems to have the bug, and he wants to do it, and I just wish I could be the one there to show him how to, and how to do it right, how to do it responsible, because I've been sitting thinking about it since I heard it. He got his first deer, and he's been hunting. Just try to teach him stuff like don't ever shoot at a deer if it's skyline behind you. For instance, if a deer's up on a hill or something, there's nothing but skyline behind it. Don't take that shot, because if you wish to miss that deer and don't hit it to stop the shot, and this shot keeps going on, it could go on 2 or 3 miles somewhere else and hit somebody, maybe out in their yard or something. I always make sure you shoot towards trees or your summers we don't shoot towards houses, but I'm just hoping that there's somebody there that's trying to teach him this kind of stuff. But you know, and I've got to know him pretty good. But what time I've got to see him, coming to see me, but not. I've not got to know him enough to just really know him on a real personal level like I'd like to, and to get to know him. But
guys, he's talking about his grandson.
But
who seems to be will soon be 14. So
14,
he's
yeah.
So
the next month he'll be 14-year-old.
Yeah.
But he seems to be turned out to be a good kid. He plays football, baseball, basketball. Now he's got into hunting. He was into racing motorcycles, racing bikes.
Mm.
But,
Gary, Marsha's on here. She said to tell you hey.
And I said hey and thanks for everything. Thank all y'all so much for what y'all do. Like I said, it blows my mind when I get told how many people that's out there standing up, for me and doing this, and it just blows my mind that
you have 1 minute remaining.
This got good hearts and will stand up, and it just feel like we're in a time where people, I kind of didn't feel like people don't stand up like they used to, But I just feel blessed. Just thank you all so much, and I love y'all so much for this. But this is fixing to shut off, and But thank y'all so much. I love y'all so much. And don't let Carolyn boss you around too much because she gets bossy. But, she bossed me in the night. I barely can't talk tonight. I'm hoarse. My head stopped up. And she just, no, you're getting on her now, so she kind of forced me to tonight. But thank you all so much. And I wish I could make you all something. And I'm going to make a few things. I'm going to make a few things and paint a few things and let you all draw something out of a hat or something, draw something. And that way I keep me along and something.
Thank you for using GTL.
All right, guys. That did him some good. So him telling me I bossed him. Every time I tell him that I need him to come in and do something, he's like, well, I can't. I'm afraid they can't hear me. But every time, this is only the second time that he's been heard, and only the second time that he's been able to tell his story. I wanted to get him off talking so you all would kind of get see what kind of a person he really is. And like I said earlier, he's not changed. He's the same person he was when I met him 35 years ago. So I will get him to come back on for sure. Maybe again next Monday night, I think we're okay because he called me and he actually didn't talk to anybody else as far as on another phone. So we'll do this again and we'll do questions, but I wanted to get him talking about himself so you all could understand what I mean, what kind of a person he is and how that he didn't do this. I know for a fact he didn't, but it's hard for everybody else to you can hear me say it all day, but to hear him and you all see what type of person he is, I think that helps. But when he got off there at the end, anybody that has tried to help Gary through the years, and he's even done this to all these even ones that never really did anything for him, but he would make them things. He does leather, he does woodwork is his thing that he loves the most, and he does painting. So I know that when Tracy does her telethon, I was going to send some stuff, and maybe we can do some kind of a drawing of some things that he's done, on this telethon. Kristen, he almost brings tears to my eyes too when he was talking. But when he talks about his little girl, he didn't like the time when I met him. She wasn't even a year old when he got locked up. He is very humble, Leanne. When he got locked up, he's had the best relationship with her that he can, and they have a good relationship for what they've had to go through. And I hope that one night that maybe we can get her on, because when you hear her stories, she will make you cry as well. If you think you're teary-eyed and bawling with him, a call-a-thon, Tracy, that sounds good. If y'all thought you were teary-eyed with him, when you talk to her and hear her story, you'll be boo-hooing. So, but thank you all. Has anybody got any thoughts, anything to say, or?
His stories sound like mine, and my heart was just breaking. I'm still crying.
You're gonna
make me cry.
Ray, we're going to call. Everybody's going to call right now after we hang up.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to call. 615-741-2001, option 1. Leave a message, free Gary Wayne Sutton. Call tonight. Call for Gary. Call for Ray. She's crying, and she's going to make me cry.
Yeah.
Let's call.
Yeah.
I just know that's what he lays there and thinks about. I know that, because I did the same thing. It's so heartbreaking. The fact that he done it so all of those years. That's crazy. It's crazy. Just imagining all the things that he loves so much. I know that he can feel it almost, and I know that because I could too.
What are you talking about?
Oh my gosh. I know that my little 2 years in SEG is nothing compared to what he's gone through, but the feelings, trying to remember what it was like, trying to remember the smells, trying to remember all of those things.
Yeah. I can't imagine. And the thing of it, Ray, with you is you can connect with him more than me, more than anybody, because you had to go through that. I know that when he calls me, it's so loud in there. And that's one thing too. He said that he just wants quiet. He said, he tells me if I ever get out of here, and I tell him all the time, I said, when you come home, he says that he just wants some quiet. And I can hear the noise when I'm talking to him.
It is the most insane.
I can't imagine.
To be completely alone with so much noise. It's the craziest thing. It's so hard to understand. Because I don't know how his cell is or whatever, if he goes in and they close the door or whatever, but that's how it was where I was. And it's so loud out there. It's so loud. Nobody is quiet. If day in and day out, night in and night, it never stops. And that is the most deafening silence. I don't know how to explain it to you. It's weird because it's like screaming but silent at the same time.
Right. And he talked about the keys clanging, and he says that like at night you'll be asleep, but they want to come and shine that flashlight in your eyes.
Oh my gosh, they do.
Yeah, so I can't imagine. And like I said, I think when he does come home, he's definitely going to have a culture shock. Ray, how did it feel? Because you were there 16 years, and how things changed. When you first walked out, how did you feel?
So when I went in, there were cell phones, but you couldn't even send a text message on it. And then when I came out, it was pretty much like it is now. So that was really, really strange. And people were different. People just seemed more in a hurry. Everybody seems to be just zooming everywhere. I still feel like that. It was, I don't really leave my house very often.
Yeah.
It's too much out there for me.
Yeah. That's what I can't imagine. But, I just want you all to know that we have never had this much. He has never had this much support for before. I have never, it's been a few years that I kept saying, I've got to start a podcast. I've got to do a podcast, but I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to start it. So Tracy, she helped me get started. And then she got me connected with you, Ray. And then Mama T's came on, and everybody following. Cheryl, she helps me out. I just appreciate you all. You don't know how much it really means. And just for him to get to talk, and you even talk to him, I'll talk to him tomorrow. I know it warms his heart because he's been in there for so long and nobody would listen, especially when he would beg his lawyers to do things and they just wouldn't do it. So I just want y'all to know we appreciate every single one of you for everything. Just making a phone call is going to make a difference.
I would like to send him a card. Can I do that?
You can. Okay, so if you look at I've got it pinned. I don't have it pinned. I've got it in. I think I don't know. It's in my it's in one of my things on my page. I'm talking and telling you, and it's pretty outside. You can see the mountains in the back, but in the comments, I have got the address.
Can he have pictures?
What you do is, he has, it's called, what is it? GTL, Getting Out. If you get on that and you can get set up with that, you can actually send him text messages and you can send him pictures that way. They started in October. They got their iPads and they are not getting any physical pictures anymore, no physical mail. You have to send it. You can send it to him text on the iPad and you can send pictures on the iPad. It's 20 cents. Yeah.
Okay. It's thinking about sending him some pictures of the lake and you can
do that. You can send it. There's that address. It goes all the way to Maryland.
Can he have a book in?
No, I still haven't. I can't get the Framed in the Smokies in for him.
Not even through the app.
You might be able to do it through the app. I don't know because I'm just now learning that as well. But you can write him and you can send him pictures and they scan it on his app. So he was telling me last night that it takes 10 days now for him to get his mail.
Oh my goodness. So in Texas, you can have books sent in. Anybody can have books sent in from like the A app, the Zon app, or like any kind of some stuff like that. And
they may. I don't know, honestly.
Will you ask him next time that if we can use books? Because I was thinking that I can get a book of pictures made, and maybe he might be able to get it like that. Since it's coming from a company.
Well, they have certain companies though now that only things can come from. Like I used to send them stuff through Amazon. They can't have anything through Amazon anymore. And I used to be able to send him his art supplies and stuff. Now you have to go through, it's called Blick Arts. You have to go through that. So I can't just send him stuff. It's whatever is in their little thing that you can only send stuff through. I don't know what Azon is, so Cheryl, you may know. I'm not sure. I know Books A Million. You can send stuff through Books A Million. I don't think if it comes to Books A Million, I'm pretty sure that was on the list. Like I wanted, let's see, if he gets any art supplies and stuff now, he has to order it. I can't order it for him. So if he doesn't order it, he doesn't get it. And they have to go through a certain company, which they make it harder. I didn't record this. I didn't even think about recording it. I hate that I didn't do that.
Yours is automatically recorded.
Mine is recorded automatically.
Yeah. You can go into your setting, not your settings, but I'll send you a screen recording of how to get to it. Oh, you recorded.
Well, Mama T says she has it recorded too. So, also for the people that doesn't know, he doesn't ask for money on his commissary or anything like that. I send him and buy his commissary when I can. But if you want to send him some commissary, that's up to you, and he will greatly appreciate it. For the people that can, on January the 20th, this is going to be a big day because we're going to the Capitol. We'll be there at 10 o'clock and it's Central Time. So 10 o'clock Central. Is that right? Am I right, Mama T?
No, it's Eastern Time.
No, I'm on Eastern. Nashville's on Central, so it's 10 o'clock.
You gotta be 10 Central, 11 Eastern.
Yeah. Okay. So yes. So if you can join us at the Capitol, we would love. I would love to have 100 people there. It would be great because in numbers. But if you can't make it to the Capitol, Mama T's going to be there, and I think I can't remember who else, and they're going to live stream it. So if you all will get on the live stream and help us there, and then everybody for sure call the Capitol that day. I mean, call before then, but that day we want everybody to call, just one phone call after the other, one right after the other, because if we could shut those phones down, that would be awesome. I know that when I call, it's saying they have a high call volume, but if we could get it where their phones are jammed up and it just makes it all busy, and that would be great. That would be awesome. Rhonda will be on the live stream as well. Great. And then Tracy is going to do, Tracy, what did we decide it was? A call-a-thon? She's going to start on the 19th, and she's going to do it 24 hours. And so if you have anything, you know, everybody, when you can, get on and help her with that telethon. Cheryl's going to come on there at some point and read that poem. Did you all hear Cheryl's poem she did for Christmas on Gary?
Yes, and it was beautiful.
It was. So she's going to read that. Anybody has got anything they want to do, Tracy's going to start that at 10. Tell me if I'm right, Tracy. 10 a.m. on the 19th until 10 o'clock on the 20th when we start the press conference. Tracy ain't listening. Eastern, 10 o'clock Eastern time. Yes. You know what, Kristen? I would love for this to get on one of the nationals. I just don't know how to get their attention. I've tried in the past. And then if you all go to She's Country's, is it right, Ray? You have it on the tube?
I do. I put stuff on there.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can't be there in person and love to help, there's something everybody can do. So, is anybody?
I forgot I could talk.
Yeah, you can
I was
talk.
listening. I just forgot I could talk.
What you should say when you call the governor's number, if you want to say free Gary Wayne Sutton, that's all you have to say. Free Gary Wayne Sutton. Because there's sometimes I don't have time. I just pick up the phone and I call it and I say free Gary Wayne Sutton. Or I'll say, you need to free an innocent man that is on, and I say Roe in the state of Tennessee, or you're going to have the blood on your hands of an innocent man. Just whatever you feel like saying. But whatever you do, please be kind. Please be kind, and be kind about it. We can't be mean, because we definitely don't want to make anybody mad. Tracy, tell them about your little call-a-thon that you're going to do.
Okay. On my call-a-thon, the big feat is going to be Tracy to stay awake for 24 hours, which will never happen. But that is going to be my attempt. And I am going to be pushing everyone to call. That is what I want. I don't want likes. I don't want gifts. I don't want anything. I want people to get on that phone and call over and over and over and over and over. That's the push. And I'm going to be cooking Gary's favorite meal, one of them pinto beans and sliced tomatoes and some homemade biscuits. And I'll be making a mess because I can't cook without tearing something up. And I will be going for walks, and we'll be looking for alligators. And I will be hopefully we'll get anybody that will just come on and hop on and love to have the company. Because our push, like I say, is to just repetitively call. That will be on Martin Luther King Day, which what a better day to have it than a man that represents the justice. And I just think we'll keep going and keep going, and it'll wind up into the live of the Capitol. And that's just how it's going to go. And maybe we'll watch a movie all together. We'll set a certain time and say, hey, let's watch this on Netflix, or hey, let's watch this. And I'm up for anything. But the
I
whole
just stopped by your house on the way through, although I live in Tennessee, so I can get them pinto beans and biscuits, okay?
I'm actually in Southwest Florida.
Well, that will never happen. I'll come and virtually eat with you.
Yeah, we could do that. We could virtually eat. We could all sit down and have a great thought. See, that's a great thought. We could all sit down and have a meal together too. That'll be wonderful. Okay.
Yeah. So
You're
but
hired.
that's what we'll do. And then after we have the press conference, I'm going to try to have some appointments to some of the senators and the representatives as well. And then after the press conference, go talk to them. And then at 7:00 that night Eastern time, we'll be on the Mike Weatherford show. I guess talking about our day and what we did. So Gary's family will be there, and anybody else that'll come and stand with us, we will greatly appreciate it. Like I said, we just need people to see that we're standing behind him.
Yeah, I really enjoyed tonight getting to hear him and his story and things that things that he likes. And there was a couple of things that stood out to me. I don't know if anybody else really caught it, but when he was talking about like the hunting and stuff, and he was like, it's not really about unaliving the animals. He said he used to make, pets out of pigs and birds and, whatever. And I'm like, that's a man with a heart. That's what that is. That's not a man that can hurt somebody.
And what else got me is when he said, when he hears of the people talking bad about Tommy's family.
Yes.
Y'all, if that don't tell you something right there. And then he said, I lost him too. Y'all, you know that. You can feel that. I can feel that.
Yeah. And it's not
he was definitely very sincere through all of that conversation, I will say. So I personally enjoyed it. I know I've told Carolyn I'll help any way I can because I am close to Nashville. But tonight really definitely sealed the deal for me, getting to hear him and hear how sincere he really is.
I'm glad y'all got to hear from him. I really am, because he's just not that monster that they wanted to make him out to be. And like he said, they didn't really bring him up, but here and there, in the trials and stuff, they just really didn't bring his name up much.
What really got me about what he had to say was when he said he would lay back and just floating on down the river. That got me, because man, for him to just float down the river, just to one more time, that's what he wants to do, just float down that river. I mean, yep. we've all done it.
Yep.
I love it too, but for him to just float down the river and look up at that sky and feel that water and drink a cold beer on a hot day, listening to some country music and just enjoying what he loves to do.
Yep. And he loved the outdoors. He did. So, everything you heard from him, that's him. He is from Sevier County, Sevierville. He is from Dolly Parton, where Dolly Parton was born and raised. And when you hear about the Smoky Mountains and stuff, Gary Wayne right there is he's a true country boy. I will absolutely tell him, and I'll get him back on because I really like it that he can talk to you all. But again, if you all will call the Capitol, join us January the 20th for the press conference, and just kind of, I guess I'm just going to call it Gary's Day, because that's basically what we're going to do. Tracy is going to do the call-a-thon. I'm going to pop in and out as much as I can. Yes, please. Anybody that wants to add this to any platform that they have, please do so. Yes, Kristen, it's right there at Pigeon Forge in Gatlinburg. Anybody that wants to share his story on any platform that you have, please do, and help us get this awareness out. Like I said, this is 35 years of his life. He's been in there over half of his life. He went in when he was 27, and he will be 61 in February. So if you all, just thank you all for helping. If you'll go to my post, you can see some of the newscasts that we had. Yes, if you want to call news shows and ask them if they want to pick this up, please do. And just private message me, and I'll get with them. Anything that anybody can do, we appreciate.
I will say, oh, sorry, Ray, go ahead.
Okay, one second. I'm going to walk you through how to get the live, the recording of the live, so you can send it to me and I can put it on my YT.
Okay. I'm going to have to.
A screen recording of it. So you'll just go step by step.
I need a pen. Callie, I know you're in there listening. Got a pen and paper. I had a pen here, and I have paper. Yeah, I even had transcripts I was going to read tonight.
I can send you a Google Doc with it in there if you want me to do that, because I have rewatch.
Okay, whatever you want to do. Let me find a pen, because you can walk me through it all day long, and if I don't write it down step by step, I can't remember. Hold on just a second.
You won't be able to see it?
Do what?
If I send you a video of step by step how to do it?
Yes, please. Yes, that'll work.
That's what I'll do.
Yes. All right. Does anybody else have anything else to add?
Yeah, I wanted to throw one comment in there about the news stations. I personally have reached out to that Nick Brez here on Channel 5. He always picks up a lot of good stories and, bad stories and so forth, a lot of investigative stuff here. If other people would message him, maybe he would pick it up. I've sent him 2 messages through social media and also sent him an email. But if we really keep Gary's name in front of him, it might help, encourage him to push it out more.
Okay. I'll do that. So, okay. I will do that. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Go ahead.
I was just going to say I was going to hop down. I got to go do a live right now. So,
okay.
Carolyn, I love you, Carolyn.
Love you guys. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Maybe we'll just start getting him on Monday nights because we got that. So again, thank you all. I appreciate every one of you. I'll be back on again next Monday night at 7. If I can get him, and then I'll be with Back Porch Confessions Wednesday. So y'all just wait and look for that. But I love you guys. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for helping. And we are Gary's Army. And I just want him, if you want to write him, it is in I can't think. It's in my I want to say bio, but it's not bio, but I have it pinned. I don't have it pinned, but it's in here. You all can go find the address. If you want to write him, if you want to do that GTL getting out, You can text him, send him pictures, whatever. But please just help us and help us bring him home, because when he comes home, we're gonna have the biggest barbecue you have ever seen, and we're inviting everybody. So yeah, thank you all, love you all, and y'all have a good night. Bye.
Than I have eggs in my life, probably.
Well, I think the thing that I learned that I wasn't quite aware of before, because I knew some about the oil business, and but I knew some people more on the sort of suit side of it, in Texas. One of the things that surprised me was how many people who had broken lives are working in the oil fields, got, ex-cons and all kinds of things working out there, because they can make from $120,000 to $180,000 a year, and to take care of their families when they try to straighten their lives out, and they couldn't make that much money anywhere else. So they're willing to risk life and limb to support their family.